Join me as we continue our read and commentary in the book of Obadiah. Today's read, Obadiah chapter 1, verses 7 through 10. Welcome to Daily Timothy Time. My name is Karl Coates, and it's a privilege, pleasure, and an absolute joy to be with you once again with an open King James Bible today, Monday, the 12th of January, 2026. Saints, the book of Obadiah it's 21 verses. There is so much going on in here. I'm going to do my best to give you at least some things to think about when you open up this book. Some things that you can meditate on for the next day, the next week, month, year, even decade. This is a wonderful book to get involved in and to understand. And remember, the Apostle Paul, our apostle, the apostle of the Gentiles, in his book to the Romans in chapter 15 says, "For whatsoever things are written aforetime," Obadiah is one of them, "are written for our learning." Folks, it's a good thing for us to have an understanding of what Obadiah is trying to tell us. Obviously, he's writing to a specific audience. It was to them, but it's for us. So let's get to reading. Obadiah, verse 7. "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall come over thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." Whoa, saints, these verses, there's a lot packed in here. Some things to consider. In verse 7, it speaks, "Thy men of thy confederacy." We'll get to that in a moment. That's over in Psalm 83. I'll cover that now. But big picture stuff here. You've got this confederacy of 10 nations that are using Edom. They despise Edom. You go to verse 2, "Thou art greatly despised." And they're using Edom as a spearhead to attack Israel. You'll see over in Psalm 23 what the psalmist writes there. It was quite fascinating, actually. So, these 10 nations, in verse 7 it says, "They that eat thy bread, have laid a wound under thee." They pretend to be all mates and everything, but meantime they got a purpose, and they want to use Edom, the nowadays Palestine. All the issues that you just have to look in the news recently, Palestine, everywhere, Palestine. So the Confederacy want to use the Edomites to go and take Israel off the map. However, God's got a different plan. The Edomites and those nations get dulled. They get totally smashed. Now, this is not the Gog-Magog war. No, this is when Israel clean the plow. They go and they wipe out all these nation states surrounding them. There are a remnant of Edomites left, which get destroyed in Christ's second coming. That's after Daniel's 70th week. Now, I'm getting a little bit, maybe I'm saying too much and confusing the matter, but Edom is the spearhead used by the Confederacy. Now, come with me to Psalm 83, if you will. Psalm 83. Psalm 83, there's a couple of things I just want to bring up for you to consider. Verse 1, "Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For, lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." Now listen to verse 6 here, folks. The tabernacles of Edom. So that's the modern day, the Palestines today. A tabernacle is a temporary fixture. It's not like a a temple, which is like Solomon's temple, was a building. This is a tabernacle. Just remember Moses in the desert with a tabernacle. You can move it. You can uproot it. It started off just south of the Dead Sea. They've moved up to where they are currently now, and they kind of like I just use the word gypsies, might be the wrong word, but they don't have a certain dwelling place. Let's put it like that. Now look what it says, verse 6, and the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Amnon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre, Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison. Now this is all in the book of Judges. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeb, yea, all their princes as Zebah and as Zalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, and so on and so forth. Now, I just want to share this with you. You heard me read 10 nations out there. Let me quickly give them to you and explain who they are, so you've got a better understanding. The first one was Edom. That's Palestine, the Palestinian and southern Jordanians. Next was the Ishmaelites. That's the Saudis. That's Ishmael, the father of the Arabs. Moab, that's Palestine and central Jordanians. The Hagarites, that's the Hagarenes, that's the Egyptians. Then you've got Gebal, which is Hezbollah and the North Lebanese. Ammon, the Palestinian and North Jordanians. You've got Amalek, which is the Arabs of the Sinai area. Then you've got, what was the other one? The Philistines. That's Hamas of the Gaza Strip. Tyre, that's Hezbollah and South Lebanese, and Assyria, that's the Assyrians and the North Iraqis. So keep that in mind, folks, when you go back to the book of Obadiah. Come with me back to the book of Obadiah very quickly, and we'll close off here. Verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall come over thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Oh, goodness. Folks, Obadiah is an interesting read. It gives us great insight to the Middle East and the Arabs. And remember, I said to you a few days ago, a key thing for you and I to remember is the Abrahamic covenant. You've got to have that in your thinking, your frame of reference as you go into this book. Also, a good something to, I'll leave it there. A good understanding of the Abrahamic covenant and where the ancient hatred comes from. Goes all the way back to Sarah and Hagar. That's where it starts off. And then you've got Ezekiel 25. Ezekiel 25, my little boys in here. Ezekiel 25:15 mentions the old hatred. Ezekiel 35:5, the perpetual hatred, started way back in Genesis. It's still going on today. Anyway, folks, I'll leave it there for today. Trust you've enjoyed the material. Any questions, go to dailytimothytime.com. There you can contact us there and send your questions in if you have any. And remember, if you've got the heart to, share this in your socials. And keep your sword sharp, soldier. Until we meet again next time, if the Lord tarries, grace and peace to you. Maranatha.